First off, in the opener against Kennesaw State, you mentioned getting out-rebounded and how that was something you wanted to work on moving forward. Statistically, your team has improved over the last couple of games. What have you seen from your team that's allowed you to have more success on the boards?
I think, with rebounding, it's really more effort, and there's some technique. But when you are as athletic and as big in terms of the last 4 games that we played, then we should be in position to rebound the ball. We should be out rebounding these teams, and it shouldn't even be close. And so for us, it was more of a matter of, hey, we need to make an effort. We need to make a better effort, and we have to have a will to want to come up with the ball. And it's not just rebounds; it's the 50-50 balls as well. Sometimes a rebound gets tipped. I need you to keep fighting for the ball until it's ours. And so it was just talking about that, showing in film, and then making an effort to work on it while we're playing and practice every single day. And I want our team to be known as a team that fights, that efforts and competes no matter what. And I think that rebounding is really that. That's what rebounding is. And so we need to be better at that, and that should never be anything that we're not great at.
Somebody who I think has made a big impact for your team, but maybe doesn't get as much credit, big games from Aga and Jordan, is J.O. She had 15 points, tied her career high on Wednesday. How much of an impact on the floor does she make? It just feels like she's always in the right place at the right time.
She is, and one of the things we learned about J.O. when we went to Italy was that she's a great playmaker. So she's really a guard playing, inside and outside, but she's strong and tough and has the ability to pass the ball, to put the ball on the ground, to finish at the rim, and to make plays for other people. So I love having her on the floor just for that reason. She made a couple huge ones at the end of the game for us just the other day. And so as she continues to build confidence and understand what we want her to do and all the places on the floor that I'm going to put her, then you'll see down the stretch, we're probably not going to be able to win without her in the game. Because she does have the ability to make everybody else shine. And those are players you need. She just does all the dirty work, blue collar kind of kid. And that's kind of close to my heart too. So the more confidence she builds in herself, the more time she gets in our system, the better she's going to continue to get.
On Wednesday night, Ayanna got off to a slow start with her shot, but came through for you twice down the stretch with the big 3 and then the 2 free throws. What's your message to a player if they're off to a slow start and the shots just aren't falling, to keep them from getting frustrated and allow them to make plays like Ayanna did down the stretch?
The message in a situation like that is that you earn my trust in practice. And so I knew that Ayanna was going to be capable of making those big plays because I've seen her do it in practice. And I've seen her do it when she played here before she got injured towards the end of that season, her freshman year. And so, at one point in the game, I'm looking at her and she's like, I can't make a shot. I'm like, no, but you'll make the big play that needs to be made. Just keep playing. Just fight through it. Ayanna's earned that in practice. That's not something I decide in a game. I knew whatever happens, usually I'm going to leave my players that have earned my trust on the floor. And then it shows them that they can do it. In our game, after one bad quarter, one bad half, whatever bad means if you're missing shots, but you can still have the opportunity to make the play to win the game, and that's exactly what she did.
With Aga on Wednesday night, just for a freshman, seemed to have so much poise in those big moments, hit the big 3s for you, and then iced the game away with those last 2 free throws. How impressive is that to have an 18-year-old come in and make those plays for you in a clutch situation like that?
Well, we needed her to make those, and Aga, that's exactly who she is. So she's another one that shows us in practice that she's going to compete through anything. And she didn't play very much in the first half. And so I could see that she was itching, like it made her a little mad. And what I'm learning about her is I just maybe need to make her a little mad before every game. And then, we'll get her to have games like that every time. So every day I learn something about my team. But all joking aside, what Aga brings, I knew she was going to bring, because she is that player. When we were recruiting her, she played, overseas in Poland. She played 3 years professionally before she even came over here. She's a seasoned vet. She understands the game is a long game, that she's going to have opportunities, and she makes the most out of them, but she practices in preparation for that. So I knew having her out there that she would do something great for us.
Last one for me. You have a hectic week coming up, to say the least. Going to Las Vegas, playing 2 games there, and then turning around and going to Raleigh to face NC State. How important has this past week been, being at home, and this weekend coming up to prepare for what's going to be a little bit of a whirlwind over 8 days?
I was just telling our team, it's interesting, you have all this time before the first game, and then it's 4 games in 10 days. And what I want them to understand is that, hey, when we have that many games in that amount of time, it's really hard for us to work on stuff. We're in preparation mode. We're trying to make sure that our bodies are fresh. They're working on schoolwork. They still have to get rest. So this next week for us is really important because we have a lot to work on. And I need them here ready to practice and locked in so that we can get a lot better, so that as we come back into another hectic week of games, we're ready mentally, physically, and prepared for what we didn't do well to do well now as we move forward and play some really good teams coming up here in Vegas. So I'm hoping that they learned that, hey, when we play a lot of games in a short period of time, we are who we are. Now we learned a lot, and it's time to get better.
Coach, during 4 of those games, 3 of them were 1-possession victories here. I'm sure you would like to have less of those, but moving forward, some good character-building wins there. How are this stretch of games of these 3 straight 1-possession victories going to help you guys move forward as you get ready for the SEC play, where you're going to have situations like tight games night in and night out? Yeah,
I think, well, one thing is that you get to work on game management in a high-pressure situation. So you can do that in practice, but it's a lot different when you're in the moment and there's a crowd and there's refs that are calling crazy things and not crazy things. I'm not trying to say anything bad about refs, but I think you can't really prepare unless that moment is presented to you. I think that's how you really get good at it. So I'm really happy that we had those moments and that we came out victorious. I am unhappy that we had moments also where we could have put our foot on the necks of these teams and won by 20 or maybe 25, and we didn't do that. But there's always opportunity, right? And the opportunity that presented us was to work on our late game management in real situations. So I think we can take away both of those things. Hey, when we have people up by 10, 12, 14, and the next time out, in the next quarter, they need to be down. We need to be up by 20. They need to be down by 20 or 25, and that's how we should close out games. But when you have a team that has grit and that's able to win those games, and hey, look across the country, there's plenty of teams that aren't winning those games right now, that on paper should be. And I think for us, that's built a lot of confidence. And now they're looking around like, hey, you know what? We had to fight, but we're 4-0. We're 4-0, we fought hard, and we learned a lot. I don't know that we could be in a better situation.
Over each of the last 2 of the last 3 games, you've had multiple players record double-doubles in a game. That didn't happen last season. You did have that a couple times in your first season. What does that speak to, just the uptick of the talent and the depth that this program now has, as maybe opposed at this point last year? You've got 3 different people that are capable of pulling down a double-double, and you probably have another 3 plus who haven't done it yet that are also capable of a double-double.
I love that we have that. I love that we have so much versatility and so many different weapons. I think now it's a shift, right, for the teams that we've had in the past, where we have a lot loaded on 1 or 2 players' shoulders. And that's, you can be successful either way, but I think these guys are figuring out that it's a lot more fun to play on a team where really anyone can have a double-double. Anyone can have a big night. And if we want to win the way that we want to win in our program, then that's how it has to be. And it's okay. Like some days it may be your turn to score 25, or some days it may be your turn to have 12 assists, or maybe your turn to have 15 rebounds. But whatever needs to be done to win the game, we have multiple people that can do it. And we need to lean into that so that it takes the pressure off and we can start sharing the ball a little bit more. Start understanding, hey, we just need you to come in here and play hard, effort, get 50-50 balls, go to the boards, make sure you make good passes, and then let's see how the game goes. And we know we're going to get contributions from the bench. But the more we can build confidence in each other and our team, and knowing that, I think as we move into these non-conference games that are Power 5 games and our conference, then I think we're going to be in a great situation, because we won't have to worry as much as we did the last 2 years about things outside of our control. maybe injuries, off nights, shooting, where our offense is really centrally located around one or two people. That's the beauty. But it takes time and effort and to build a team that has confidence in that. You know, it takes some time to work through that. So we're continuing to do that.
Jake referenced this a little earlier. You have a very hectic week ahead of you guys over the Thanksgiving break. We are going out to Las Vegas, but that week gets started with a Monday home game against Alabama State. Can you tell us a little bit about Alabama State, what the Hornets are going to bring in here to Memorial, and what do the Commodores have to do to hit that plane to Vegas 5-0?
Yes, so it's a great question. I really don't focus as much right now on the other team. So right now I'm really focused on what we need to do, and I want our players to understand that we're going to face a bunch of really good teams. And then you go down the stretch, we're not going to be able to prepare for a week for the teams that we're playing. Sometimes you only have a day, sometimes less than that. And so I want our focus to always be on us. And so, yes, we're going to put in some things. They're not even going to know it during practice, where they're going to see Alabama State's defense, but I'm not going to tell them, hey, this is Alabama State's defense, that we're just going to practice. And we're going to practice some offense against that, some defense against some things that they're going to see on Monday night. But it's really in preparation for us to get better so that we stick to our principles offensively and defensively no matter what, so that we're prepared. And if an adjustment needs to be made, it's not going to, swipe the carpet out from under our feet because it wasn't in our game plan. And that's what good coaches and good teams do. They make adjustments. So we need to be ready to be us, number one, and then we'll make the necessary preparations as we get closer.